Hi everyone, my name is Katie. Welcome to my channel. Today we will be going over how to create your first React Native project. So this is perfect for you if you're completely new to coding. I'm going to be explaining every step of the way. Or if you have experience in React but want to switch over to React Native, this is a great video for you as well. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so these are just my notes here of what we'll be going over. I'm going to go over everything you need to start your project in terms of downloads. Then we'll be running some terminal commands to get our project created. And then lastly, we'll be writing some code to create our first page. So let's get started with these downloads. First off, you need an IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. This is basically like a text editor, but it has a lot of other cool features as well. There's an integrated terminal where you can run commands. There's, of course, the text editor part where you can write out all your code, and there's lots of cool extensions you can use that make writing your code easier and more efficient. And it's really just a great tool, and VS Code is popularly used, so I'd recommend downloading this one. And I'll add all these links in the description as well, so you all have them. Next, you want to download node.js. So this lets you run JavaScript on your computer, which is very needed because we will be writing in JavaScript with React Native, so you definitely want to download Node. Next, you need Java JDK. JDK stands for Java Development Kit, and you want to make sure it's a compatible version with React Native. There's some versions that are not compatible, so that's important. I have linked here Amazon Corretto 17, which is the version I use that is, of course, compatible. So that's a great option. Next, I highly recommend downloading a phone emulator onto your computer. This is basically like a phone screen that's going to show up on your computer. Let's see, like it's right here. There's a little phone screen next to your code. So it's so helpful when you're writing out your code. You can see the changes to your app right away on a phone screen on how it would look on a phone and formatted. So Android Studio is specifically for an Android phone. Xcode is specifically for an Apple iPhone. And something important to note with this is that Xcode only works on Apple computers. Xcode will not work on a Windows computer. So I am working on a MacBook, so I will be showing both an iPhone emulator and an Android emulator. But if you have a Windows, you unfortunately can only use an Android emulator. Kind of silly, but that's how it is. And then lastly, we'll be using Expo, which is an app you can download onto your phone, and it lets you upload your project really seamlessly, and it displays updates really fast, so it's really popular in development stages of applications. You can really easily just upload your project and see it in action as an app. So you want to download this onto your emulators. You can also download it onto your phone. That way you can view your phone on your actual phone, or you can view the app on your actual phone as well instead of viewing it on the computer screen, which is helpful so you can see how everything is spaced out, how things are clicking, working. So it's also very useful to see it on your phone. Now that we have all our downloads in place, let's get into the fun part of creating our actual app. So these are some commands right here that we're going to put into the terminal. Our terminal is right here. Oh, I'm already in a client folder, but I need to be in the first React Native project folder to start the app, which is important, or to create the project. Looks like I spelled this wrong too. This says Navi, but it should be native. So I'm going to right click on this. Oh, actually right click right here in this body. Open an integrated terminal. There we go. I'm going to trash this other terminal. That was from another project I was working on. And you can create a folder right here by going up here, File, Open Folder, and then you can open whatever folder you want to put your project in, or create a new folder or anything like that. Once our folder is created, right click, open an integrated terminal. And here we are in the right place, the right folder in our terminal. Now I'm going to run this command. I'm going to paste it right here. I didn't copy it. Let's copy this. Copy, paste. There it is. So npx stands for node project execute, and then create-expo-app at latest. That means in the latest version. Client is what I am naming the project. This is just standard. If you have a front end of your project and a back end, usually you'll name the front end client and the back end server. So I'm just doing that out of habit, but you can name your project anything. And then -- template blank. This means we are just creating a blank template, because sometimes React Native will put in extra styling or little details that we don't necessarily need. So we just want a blank slate. And then I press enter to run that. And this may take a little while to download everything. You can see npm install. That stands for Node Project Manager install. And that is installing all the Node modules, which are all the packages we need for our app to run smoothly. And you'll see here, I'm actually going to install even more packages, which is this line here. I'm going to copy this line. Okay, now our client folder is right here and our project is created. And these are all files that come along with a React Native project. We will be working in App.js, that's an important one. But first off, we have to install some more packages, like I said. So I'm going to do cd, which stands for change directory, into the client folder, which is the folder we just created. Now you can see my terminal is in the client folder. It's no longer in the first react-navigator project folder. Okay, now we're in the client folder. Now I'm going to paste this long command in. So this is npx expo install. These are more packages for our app to run smoothly. They're mostly navigation packages. We have navigation/native, navigation/stack, native/screens. These are all navigation related. So React Native uses stacks to route between pages. So you can kind of think of the pages being stacked on top of one another. And it uses that logic and structure to navigate between pages. So for example, if I do navigate.goback, it'll go back one page in the stack. If I do navigate.pop2, it'll pop two pages. It'll go down 2 pages in the stack. And that's how you get between pages. So that's that. And then safe area context, that just means we are coding within the safe area of the phone screen. We're not going out of bounds. And then gesture handler, react-native-reanimated, these are just helpful packages having to do with animated features or things like that. Yeah, anything animated or anything like that. React Native get random values, that's just also another important one. But okay, enough of that. Our project is good to go. Now we can start coding, which is the fun part. I'm going to copy all of this here. I will go over it as well. This is what we will be putting in App.js. I'm going to go over to this file. This file is where we write out all the screens in our app, which is also synonymous with pages and with views. I'll be using all these terms. It just means one view in your app, one single page. So I'll keep the style in here because we won't really be going over that today. So this is just the style that comes with a basic React Native project. I will be pasting this in here. Actually, I think we want to keep some of these imports in here. This guy can go. We're not using that anymore. These guys can go. Okay, so we have our style sheet we imported right here that we're using, NavigationContainer, and createStackNavigator. So we're creating an instance of a stack from createStackNavigator here. This is what our stack will be that I just explained. NavigationContainer, this is where our stack is going to be, what our stack is going to be contained in. So that's wrapped around our stack. Now we have our Stack.Navigator. We have to make an initial route. We have to specify where the project will start. It has to have a starting page when you open up the app. So we specify that here. That our initial route name is going to be homepage. This is also important. screenOptions, headerShown false. If the headerShown is true, the app will show a big white header in the front that has the file name on it, which is really bulky, and you don't want that in a completed app. But I'll actually show it so you guys can see what it looks like. And then we have our one and only actual page that we'll be putting into our app, because this is just a demo of how to get it started today. So we're just going to do one page. It's going to be the home page, and that's specified here. So this is stack.screen. This is one screen we're adding. The name is homepage. The component is homepage. And this is blue because we haven't made the homepage yet. Once we make the homepage component, we'll import it in here, and then this will turn to yellow, which indicates that this component exists and is imported into the main app file. Okay, now let's create the homepage. We're going to be in the client folder right here. We're going to do a new folder called views. This just helps us stay organized and keep all our views in one folder. Then we're going to make the file within the view folder homepage. .jsx, that's a React JavaScript file. All right, the first thing I always do is export the file, or the function, the component that we'll be making. Okay, we're not passing in any parameters there in the parentheses. Okay, in the curly brackets, this is where our code goes for this component, where the logic goes. We're just going to return here a basic, let's just do a text. You want to import all your tags. So you can see right here, text, React Native, this text tag has now been imported. Okay, I have auto close on, so that automatically closes the tag. You can put whatever text in here you want. This is my first React Native project. Woo! Let's do a woo. Okay. There we go. Pretty basic, but I think that's all we need. Now, we want to make sure we remember to import it now that it exists. And it pops up right there, homepage, coming from the views folder in the homepage file. Think that looks good. Now we're gonna start our app up, an npx expo start from the client folder. loading up. Looking good. This all looks good. So there's some important commands that I'm going to go over here. R is really useful to reload app. Anytime I make any changes in an app, I just press R right here in the terminal, and it will reload the apps for you, and then display those changes. And then these two. A opens your Android emulator. I opens your iOS emulator. Those are important because we will be using both of those today. Also, this QR code is if you want to use your physical phone. You take your phone camera and you scan the QR code, and then if you already have Expo Go downloaded on your phone, it'll just pop up, which is super fun. And this right here is important. You want to make sure your phone is connected to the same Wi-Fi that your computer is connected to. That number right there is the Wi-Fi IP address right here, the 10.0.0.55, followed by the Expo port, which is 8081. So that's how the computer connects to the phone and shows the app. You gotta be on the same Wi-Fi. All right, so I'm gonna press A to open the Android. And this may take a little while. It should show a green loading screen. There it is when it loads. I'm going to press I to open the iPhone. And Android bundled in green, that means it was good to go. It just went to the other screen automatically, but we'll wait for this to load. And there we go, it loaded. All right, so it looks like the iPhone already just popped it up on Expo. You got the home page header right here that we briefly discussed. This is my first React Native project, woo! And then let's see, looks like this one didn't automatically open. This is the Android. Okay, there it is. I just pressed on the Expo app right there and it opened it up on Android. And real quick, I'll show you what it looks like when that big header is gone. This is important to also press R in the terminal to reload your apps once you make any changes. And it's gone, so it's really high up there just because we haven't done any styling, but there is the text we added in our first view. All right, I think that is everything. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspired you to create your first React Native project. It's really like the sky is the limit with React Native. You can create basically any app you want, which is so cool and exciting. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, bye.